उसको move करना।
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Dr. Kirti, Assistant Professor, Chanakya National Law University, Patna. And today we are seeing this entire course, which is Human Resource Development. And we are going to deal with the last two units of Block 4, which is Unit 11 and Unit 12. So, till now we have covered from Unit 1 to 10, and the Unit 11 is titled as Emergence of Trends and Perspectives. So, by the time you finish or complete this unit, you'll be able to understand the business environment, the environment in which the business and human resources develop, then identify the management challenges posed by this business environment, the trends in human resource function, and understand the sectoral trends. Then analyze different perspective of human resource development and learn the trends and perspective through the view of an organization. Structure of this entire unit is divided into 4 to 5 sections, which you can see in your book, which you can also download from eGyan Kosh. And the structure is first we'll be dealing with the introduction, then what is business environment, then what are the various challenges faced by the human resource management, and what are the trends in the function of human resource development. So, starting with the background, the goal of human resource development is ultimately to improve the performance of its employees and the overall organization. It strives to maximize the potential and efficiency of its people and their performance and increase its level to the desired to match the desired outcomes. So, in the process, organization, what it does, it develops the knowledge, skill, action, standards, motivational level, incentives, attitudes that lead to a congenial work environment and performance culture in the organization. So, human resource development remains the important force or the focal point in the current context, and through this human resource development, integrated use of education and training can be done to develop the productive capacity of individual groups working in the organization and the organizations itself. Now, the shift of human resource management or the personnel management has been from just managing human resources to get the maximum outcome is to now to create a learning environment by designing certain structure which are suitable for unlocking the creative potential of its workforce. Thus, the focus on the developing the most superior workforce so that the organization and individual employees can accomplish their tasks, their goals, and their objectives. So, this also entails an enlarged scope of human resource development. Due to this, it encompasses all development functions of human resources like performance management, potential appraisal, mentoring, counseling, coaching, career development, and overall organizational development. So now we come to understand what is business environment. So I would like you to imagine or visualize that you are here on the earth, but the earth is surrounded by an atmosphere. So the atmosphere surrounding or enveloping the earth is where we exist. So in the same manner, business environment is that envelope having certain factor or combinations of various variables which helps to recognize the potential of the business organization and also poses certain challenges, and it also provides required resources to run a business unit. So businesses businesses operate in this dynamic environment, which has a direct or indirect influence on not only how they operate but also their active or also achieve their objectives. So it encompasses a number of forces that can be grouped under economic, political, legal, social, demographical, global, and technological factors. So these are the broad categories. So environment can be seen as a layer of different spheres. So the entire envelope is termed as business environment. Then it has two levels, that is macro level business environment, then micro level business environment, and then there is organization, and inside the organization there exists the internal business environment. So each of these categories create a unique set of challenges and opportunities for every business organization. And business leaders and managers try to control the overall internal environment and fight or try to tackle the challenges and opportunities coming from the external environment. But to compete successfully, they should scan the environment. The different environmental scanning systems are there, and theories are there, models are there, on basis upon which they can scan the entire environment and plan their strategies accordingly. So shape their business according to those trends which are envisioned. So the first broad category of business environment at the macro level. Now again and again, I am referring these terms like macro environment and micro environment. So in business organization, when we are talking about its environment, the environmental factor, external environmental factor, can be divided in two different types or categories. First is macro level factors. The macro level factors are very generic and they are going to have direct or indirect impact on overall business decisions, and they impact or affect different business organization operating in different sectors or industries differently. But micro level factors are certain factors, those are specific to certain industries, like raw material, like supplier of an apparel industry won't matter to the supplier or to the business organization which are operating in telecommunication sector. So these are the example of micro level business environment. So the entire organizational environment or business environment is thus divided into two sections or two categories. So the first category, which is at macro level, we are today discussing those factors. So economic factor is one of the major factors operating at macro level business environment. So here we can see that business gets influenced by the economic factors mostly, and economic fluctuations due to various reasons influence businesses and individuals in many ways. So economic growth provides opportunities leading to the low unemployment rates and rising incomes. The rate of inflation again is another variable operating in an economic environment. It affects the interests of both the in terms of borrowing and savings, also affect economy, businesses and individuals. Then another example of economic uh, condition or economic factors is government's decision, various economic policies. So the announcement of the government of India reducing the interest rate on home loans and stimulus acts as the stimulus package, provide and helps the employees to stagger the loan payments for the loans already taken or go for loan to tide over the crisis in the post-COVID situation. So this is one of the examples how economic factor or variable can affect the entire business organization as well as uh, the individual or employees. So the policies, schemes, and another factor or variable operating in business environment. So these schemes announced by the government also directly or indirectly affect or boost the economic activities. Another factor or example is Manrega scheme by the government of India, guaranteed 100 days of work immediately after lockdown in the rural areas. Further, the supply and demand of goods and services determine the price, the quality, the quantity, and dictate the economic behavior or economic activity level in the free market. So these are the various variables operating in the economic environment or economical factors in the business environment at macro level. Then another very broad category of factors is political and legal environment. Now, what does this mean? So, political climate of a country as expressed in terms of the political will, political approach, and it is another factor that influences business organization as well as decisions taken by the single employee. For example, the proactive government policies or scheme to stimulate the economy, the stability of the government, along with the ease of doing business, helps businesses to flourish in the economy. So, stringent policies would not let the business organizations grow in the market. So, what approach the government has, if it is pro business, their policies will reflect that they are going to have a conducive environment for the organizations, be it of any size, whether it is large, medium, or small. So, government policies or political conditions, stable government political condition in a country would be favorable for various industries and organization, as well as, for example, the proactive schemes of government. And then we can see that MNCs like IBM, GE, Accenture, whether it is Apple, they do evaluate the political condition and the stability in a country for their investment purposes, like plant, machinery, and setting up the manufacturing unit or a business department और रिटेल सेक्टर में चाहे तो अपना एक आउटलेट लगाएं तो ये सारे डिसीजंस लेने के लिए दे हैव टू रिलाई on the political condition, on the political approach of the government. Okay, so just like individual or groups would evaluate the individual investment or FDI in a country. So, for example, more recently, the individual and businesses were a witness to the political turmoil in Afghanistan, Ukraine, and Sri Lanka and other regions to a large extent. So, doing business in these countries will be a bit of reluctant reluctancy will be there on the part of organization to go and invest in these countries due to the turmoil in these regions. And another example, in addition to the restriction or regulation for foreign players, the laws relating to taxation, import and imports, subsidies, local quotas also influence the business decisions at macro level. This apart, global agencies like International Labour Organization regulate the minimum wages, work safety, and other issues. And WTO policies relating to fair bilateral agreements and the role of United Nations in protecting the interests of all nations are other political factors to regulate the competition and ensure a level of playing field for all nations and businesses. So these are the various variables or sub factors of political or legal condition environment. Another variable or another category of environment is social environment. So society is the agent which lets us have resources, and using these resources and transforming it, we provide, as a manufacturer, as a marketer, we provide goods and services that is to be consumed by the society itself. The employees that are coming to our organization have an impact on their psychology, on their personality, by these social factors. So, like education, the family values, the system of norms, beliefs, culture, religion, caste, then various social classes, all these factors come under the umbrella of social environment. So, education influences the attitude, value system influences the entire personality, ethics influence the morale or conduct of an employee at the workplace. The lifestyle of the individual thus influences the production and sale of products and services. So, or if on one hand there is social empowerment, purchasing power increases, it enhances the lifestyle of people. And when the lifestyle enhances, we mean that people are going to prefer those products which are available in the market at a good price and of quality, and they are going to consume the services provided by the marketers. So it's a chain of actions which leads to the overall development and growth of the society as well as business. So business environment has this particular section or various variables operating under the umbrella of social environment. So these are difficult to define and predict because they are personal and unique in nature. Variables cannot be defined when it comes to social environment. They are very dynamic and change. Maybe some factors change in a very slow space, whereas some factors change on a very can shift from one night. Okay, so the world has witnessed a progression and change for the better in terms of education and literacy levels, resulting in a change of workforce force composition with more and more representations from the women and people belonging to different backgrounds, geography, location, classes, and culture, etc. So the composition of workforce has changed drastically as we can view or compare now 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, or 50 years down the line. So, one of the recent trends on the organizational front is the mandate of CSR activities in which organizations have to spend 2% of the net profit for societal well-being. So organizations and government and the legislative mechanism had recognized that the society has to be protected in order to have a sustainable development. So there have been certain regulations which have been imposed on the business houses for the protection of the society. So in this way, society has a long-term enduring effect on the organization and their decisions and their day-to-day work life also. Now, another factor operating in business environment at macro level is demographic environment. So human resource development has to take all the other macro level factor into consideration when designing their various mechanisms. And the most important factor while designing their various mechanism is demographic environment of the organization. So how can we define it? Demographics define the market. The product, the service also determine the size and composition of the workforce. So they are one of the major factors operating in business environment. Businesses are expected to keep up to the dynamic factors like age, gender, race, ethnicity, location in order to arrive at product and services. So no business now is operating at a domestic level. They are all a part of the global village, global economy. So business have to deal with the unique product preferences and unique purchase behavior of different generation to decide on the product line and marketing approach, design their marketing mix to attract their target customers. Because there is a lot of competition in the market and treating a particular segment with utmost care is one of the major crucial decisions of these marketers in today's scenario. So the most recent focus on the millennials and Gen Z at workplace also along with the tech savvy workforce of preferences has an immense impact on the investment that has to be borne by the business in technology. In India, for example, the demographic dividend in terms of the young force is considered the greatest advantage globally. So the business houses are trying to capture the larger share of the Indian market because the target is youth. And as we know that young population in India is has the larger mass. So statistics prove that India will add 183 million people to the working age group of 15 years to 64 years between 2020 to 50, and it is with the help of a study conducted by UN Population Statistics Database, which shows a whopping 22% of the global workforce coming from India over the next 3 decades. So we do have to realize these factors or these data for planning or strategizing our different marketing techniques and the HRD mechanism which we are going to rely upon for the success of our business organization. Now, the business environments, another factor is technology. Now, I always suggest students to view technology as a macro level factor at the external environment level, as well as the technology to understand as an internal factor also. So, technological advancement at global level will have an impact on the business organization. Yes, and the uh, need of the technology or the decisions about the technology that they are going to adopt is an internal decision. So when they are going to change their technology as per the global impact, it is going to be their own decision. They can go for it, or they can delay it, or they can optimize their own technology in a better way. So it depends upon them. So technology acts, yes, as a internal factor for a business organization as well as an external factor. So here we are dealing with technology as an external business environment factor at a macro level. So the competitiveness of an organization in the current scheme of things is determined by the ability, speed, and effectiveness with which the investments are made in technology. So businesses, large or small or medium scale, use technology to adapt to change, improve efficiency, and streamline their operations. For example, if we take the example of advances in cloud computing, it has drastically changed the way we operate our day to day business activities. So they provide good access to store data without running applications or programs in physical infrastructure. So previously we had this hard drive systems or the register system. Now everything goes on clouds, and if the company or the organization has various locations, in real time they can have an access to all the data in a centralized way, and it is because of the cloud computing. Moreover, mobile technology has also allowed businesses to communicate with employees, customers, suppliers, shareholders, and other stakeholders in an effective way. So the example we have here is Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra, Nika, whatever business commerce platform we choose or we talk about is an example of how the technology has changed our way of doing business. So e-commerce platform is again a very uh, advantageous uh, development of technology which the business organizations have today, and it is due to the technological advancement at global level that we are taking the advantage of it. Now, e-commerce, as I have already said, and it has increased acceptance in the post-pandemic period and is yet another emerging trend leading to investment in technology. Robotics, artificial intelligence, machine learning, these have a great impact on how the business organizations are planning their operations and catering to the demand of the customers, have helped businesses to automate the repetitive tasks, enabling the employees to focus on more knowledge intensive tasks and critical to business success. The investment made by by the nation, digital technology at macro level and the organization at micro level, along with the ability of the employees to learn technology, is yet another trend that influences the business environment. So these are the various factors or issues which are pertaining to the technological advancement or technological environment of entire business organization. Now, dealing with the challenges that human resource development department faces in managing the human resources. First one is leadership. Now, how can leadership fight or tackle the various issues pertaining to the threats or challenges posed by the business environment? Now, here we can see that organizational experience across the world evidences that leaders have drive their organization to higher performance. This is evident in the Indian context as well. Although India's competitive environment is relatively new, according to the HBR Harvard Business Review study, the top management of India's large business continued India's legacy of a commitment to social goals. Example, Hindustan Unilever project Shakti, which applied microfinance principles to create a sales force in India's remote rural areas. Then the hospitals, schools, and old age homes built by Indian organization also support the corporate commitment to social goals. Similarly, Indian businesses also placed in a high priority on building a performance culture in the organization along with their focus on human capital development. In Indian model of leadership, view business strategy as a set of enduring general principle of computing such as developing competencies, embracing social purpose, and taking the longer view of business. Now, this model helps in enhancing the organizational agility in the marketplace and allows the leaders to develop their top level management by guiding and teaching as their priorities, vision, and mission. Now, leadership in Indian companies, as we can see, HRD efforts revolve around four themes: managing and developing talent, shaping employee attitudes, managing organizational culture, and internationalization. So, focus of Indian leaders is basically on these four fronts. Okay. Now, employee retention is of paramount importance, where they saw a trade off between recruitment and development and paid attention to the both. Leaders believe that human capital derives business success and hence adopted an aggressive approach to train and skill their employees to develop them in the long run. Now, employee investment continues with leadership development, where a majority of companies track leadership training. They have experimented with many interventions at the individual level, group level. Thus, they contribute to the best practices in the industry. Shaping companies' culture is another challenge for managing human resources and to the field of human resource development. A company culture is a key driver of employee engagement and productivity. If the culture is conducive, employee feels safe and they feel engaged and they are committed to the organization. So employee, whether it is employee engagement, whether it is job satisfaction, whether it is work life balance, every sphere or every variable of an employee driving to the job satisfaction comes from the company's culture. So it is important that the managers address to this challenge to create and maintain a workplace culture which is conducive and enables the achievement of organizational goals as well as the individual goals and have a quality work life. The pandemic has again disturbed the work arrangement forcing the organization to mandate a hybrid work design with the majority of them working from home, resulting in dispersed team isolation and stress due to the virtual interaction limited to teams or the manager. We have seen during the pandemic, organizations were forced by this condition to have a work mode which was hybrid. Few of the officials or employees were working in the office while most of the employees were having a virtual setup using the technology sitting at home or various remote locations and performing their task. The screen time of every employee increased. The work hours also were flexible, but it caused a level of stress due to the work calls or emails at the odd hours. So these are the challenges where the human resource manager had no clue that how to overcome the stress level, the issues of remote working, and the psychological impact that these hybrid mode had on the employees. So as a result, organization can no longer rely on the current or the ongoing human resource interventions by the human resource department alone to create and recreate and build the culture in such a way that employees could grow and have a mental balance as well and physical wellness as well. So that this factor, this challenge changed the role of human resource development in this process. Further, the disconnect with the workplace, job insecurity, increased stress level, loss of income due to health and safety concerns have fueled the anxiety level of many employees, as we have already discussed the effects of pandemic and this hybrid work mode. With work from home likely to continue as per the projections, the role of human resource development to redesign work, code of ethics or code of conduct, and to have a culture where each and every individual or employee could feel safe and engaged and belongingness, self or sense of belongingness could be there. They had to design work so as to promote the well-being and support program, and it has assumed a great significance today because these challenges. So HRD has to be equipped with the right tools, the right designing technique to help these employees to connect with one another, feel engaged with the organizational goals, and thus in this way help them with their professional development and make employees feel safe and secure. The learning and development activities should thus be associated with increased engagement to enhance their productivity. If I do not feel engaged and valued, and I do not get recognition of what input I give or exploit my potential, I would not feel satisfied in the current job scenario. So this is the challenge that human resource development is facing and has to redesign its various tools and mechanism to make an employee feel safe, feel belonged, feel cared about. Then talent management is the another challenging sphere or area where these human resource development needs to have a different outlook. Now, talent management, the trend brought about by the pandemic, has made the organization struggle to find talent with the right skill. Virtual recruitment, virtual onboarding, and induction facilitated by technology had made it possible for the organization to tide over the situation. This changed the scenario and has impacted the role of human resource development in not only using the different technology but ensuring an inclusive learning environment. Yes, these different terms that we are using here, like virtual recruitment, virtual onboarding, virtual learning, has a very heavy impact on the entire working system or work environment of the organization. But does it provide the learning need or satisfy the learning uh, need of the individual? So HRD has to tackle it with advanced level of interventions to ensure that the overall work culture is not scattered and it is comprehensive in nature. There is group cohesiveness even though the employees are working remotely or on a hybrid mode. So, driving the learning and development agenda within the teams, the manager also can support the diversity and inclusion initiative of the organization. Based on this, the talent acquisition teams can have strategies designed to attract a diverse pool of talent for increased innovation and organizational success. Now, technology and digitalization. As we have already discussed, the advancement of technology will hamper or will create an hindrance or pose opportunity for the business organization here at well as well. It is a challenge for overall human resource development. Now, the change in organizational environment and the work environment has made digitalization no longer an option but a necessity in today's mode for survival in the market. Now, there is an increased level of pressure for the managers to keep up with the pace of the technology advancement, and it continues to evolve till the right solutions are found. The trend of technology and digitalization has enabled the organization to embrace a digital business mode. Now, this has been observed post pandemic as well, and organizational experiences prove that they have succeeded in their efforts to a maximum level. Thus, digitalization and digital infrastructure are viewed as important trends in the current context of human resource development. The impact of this digitalization on human resource development have been immense, and the success of HRD interventions are determined by the stage of digitalization that the organization has and how the organization shows up to the digital infrastructure. Now, trend in HRD function, HRD aims at developing the capabilities of individual working in an organization. It tries to develop interpersonal relationships to inculcate team spirit in the organization, which is a trend because people are working in isolation, as I have already mentioned, that hybrid mode is the new normal, and people working at a different location, how can they feel that yes, there is a team spirit? So, inculcating this team spirit while people are working at remote relocation is a trend in human resource development, and it needs a proper mechanism to tackle these issue or this change or trend in the market or the field of human resource development. So, drives to develop the organizational health through a continuous renewal of individual capabilities, keeping pace with the technological changes. Work and the job become the critical inputs for effective standards and maintaining it. The analysis of job design, therefore, is an essential to enhance the work efficiency and effectiveness at workplace. So these are the trends in HRD functions. Another trends in HRD functions, although they were there in the past as well, but the perspective today has changed and it has involved different technological advancement in current scenario like job analysis as job design, training and development, organizational experiences, career development, performance management, human resource information system has been there previously also, but now due to the changes in trend the in the HRD function, it has taken a different shape. So here we have seen the changes in business environment, how it has led to the trends in human resource development functions, and the impact it has on various functions in the current scenario. So we have concluded this unit here, and we'll be starting with the 12th and the last unit, which is HRD experiences. Now, here we will understand what are the various human resource development function or the functions of human resource management and its relevance or relevance of human resource development in this entire function, how they are both correlated. Now, analyze the experience of organization related to HRD function, highlight the role of HRD in organization, identify various human resource management function which have a direct and indirect role in overall human resource development function. Now, I would like you to understand that there are various case studies related to all the subtopics like planning, job description, recruitment, training and development, talent management, performance appraisal, compensation and reward, employee engagement, and ethics in HRD are there. Case studies related to all these aspects are there in the book, the PDF. So here we are just trying to understand the concept, and you can very much you can go through the case studies to understand, relate these concepts with those case study and understand in a better way. So starting with the introduction or background, HRD today is faced with the myriad challenges that includes managing layoffs, organizational restructuring, making urgent financial decisions, ensuring employee wellness, adhering to government regulation, and adapting to a newer remote way of working. So, these are the challenges faced by human resource development. And it has become essential that human resource development professionals learn from the global best practices and experiences to tide over these uncertain times and prepare their organization for long term growth and transformation. So, if there is no transformation, there will be stagnation in the organizational culture, and if there is no change, no transformation, the organization will become obsolete and it will be lost and will be out of market in no time. So the experiences of organization across the world and India highlight the role of human resource development and its interventions in relation to human resource management and development together. So, first topic or first function of human resource management is HR planning and how it is related to human resource development. It is the first step to enhance your human capital, and it is to spot and onboard the right talent. It is the planning through which we have a right pool of talent at the right time at the right place. The best candidate may not always have the most or major experiences or have the highest number of qualifications. So, matching up with the quality and the quantity of the human resources is one of the challenges that human resource planning has. And here, the role of HRD comes into play. So, however, they can be good culture and it adds to the organization. A more careful mix of soft skill, personality, and potential will determine the talent sourcing and in turn the effectiveness of human resource development. Right from the onboarding stage, HR begins to equip the employee with the knowledge required to succeed during the employee's entire tenure in the organization. Now, job description and HRD, human resource development. A useful plain language tools that explain the task, duties, functions, and responsibility of a position. A job description gives a detailed description about who performs a specific type of work, how to work, how the work is to be completed, frequency and purposes of the work, and is related to the organization mission, vision, and goals. It is used for a variety of reasons, such as determining salary level, conducting performance reviews, clarifying the mission statements, and accommodation and control. And it is also a tool for the recruitment function or the human resource planning at the organizational level. Now, another function of human resource management in which human resource development has a great impact is the recruitment function. So, according to Flippo, it is the process of searching for prospective employees and stimulating and encouraging them to apply for job in the organization. So, it is always viewed in a positive mode. So, you will be studying or you'll find these lines that recruitment is a positive function and selection is a negative function meaning thereby that recruitment instills a feeling of hope in the employees, and it stimulates or encourages them to apply for the particular job position that has been announced by the organization. Whereas when doing the selection process, what we do, we go for screening, we reject those employees who are not up to the mark or do not match the job description or job analysis report, and thus at every stage we go for rejecting those employees. So it is considered as a negative function. A key role of human resource professional and HRD development professional here is because a new talent is essential for an organization to meet its goal and succeed in a rapid changing marketplace. Then another sphere where HRD intervention plays a great deal of role is training and development. We have mentioned this entire training and development mechanism in our overall course. So, in the last as well, we need to recognize the role of HRD. It helps to complement managers' efforts, and we can offer learning and development sessions to close specific skill gaps that we have in the skill gap analysis. Okay, competency mapping, gap analysis can be, we can close those gaps with the help of training and development. And HRD has various mechanisms or different type of training and development programs or tools which could help employees to enhance their skill. An employee with leadership potential is interested in marketing domain, you can assign a learning track that develops both these skill sets in the employee and gradually help the employee transition into the market department where they can learn the ropes before taking on the leadership role. Then talent management and HRD, the methodological, organized, strategic process of getting the right talent on board, helping them to grow. So these are the new terms which are being used in our human resource development process or have been recognized as a mechanism to develop our human resources. So, talent management, recruitment, onboarding, virtual onboarding, these are the terms which are very much there from the last decade, but have gained less recognition and they need a lot of research for the further enhancement and to be used in a practical way. So, talent management help them grow to their optimum capabilities, keeping organizational objectives in mind. It is a process that involves in the identifying talent gaps and vacant positions, sourcing for the onboarding that suitable candidates, grow them within the system, and develop as per the need of the organization, training for expertise with a future focus and effectively engage, retaining and motivating them to achieve long-term organized business goals. It permeates all aspects pertaining to the HRD at workwide, ensuring that the organization attains its objectives. And it is that process of getting right people on board and enabling them to enable the business at large. Then performance appraisal or performance management is there, which is the heart of human resource development, as we have discussed in the previous units as well. It helps that employees may not always be able to take time out for learning session and online courses, which is where the strength focused performance management model kicks in. The managers regularly review employee performance and share uh, inspiring and coaching feedback to them to enhance their performance level and match to the standards. So employee then focus on improving performances levels and incrementally improving their capabilities. Such a structure requires agility to be useful, and human resource development has a great deal of impact in this human resource management function. Then compensation and reward development, when I perform in a better way and match up to the standard or above the standard or the benchmark that organization has set or human resource management department has set for me, then I'll be looking out for rewards or certain recognition. So, reward and compensation management, which comes under HRD, concerned with the implementation and formulation of policies and strategies that aspire to reward employees equitably, fairly, and regularly in accordance with their performance and value to the company. So, compensation and benefits simply mean paying people for completing the task allocated to them. Then another definition says that the term compensation signifies paying the direct cash amount or indirect amount while providing benefits to the employees to strive for higher productivity in the organization. Now, employee engagement and human resource development. Employee engagement, as we have dealt in the second section of this entire unit, that employee engagement describes the level of enthusiasm and dedication a worker feels towards their job and is loyal to the organization. So, employee engagement can be critical to a company's success given its links to job satisfaction and employee morale. So, engaged employees are more likely to be productive and higher performing, and they'll have a high level of job satisfaction, and their morale will also be boosted by the help of various HRD interventions. Now, another thing which we can see as an example that employers or managers or CEO or leaders can foster employee engagement through effective communication by offering rewards and discussing career development of the employee. We take the example of Tesla Inc. And here Tesla's CEO, alarmed by high number of injury at his Fremont car assembly plant, Elon Musk used more transparent communication as an employee engagement strategy to improve safety. And to do this, the electric car motors co-founder told their employee that he wanted every injury to be reported to him without exception. Now he was able to understand that what was needed to prevent these similar accidents from recurring in future. So in this way, they enhanced their overall work culture, and there was a reduction seen in the accident rate at the plant. Now, ethics in HRD. So, as a human resource professional, we are ethically responsible for promoting and fostering fairness and justice to all the employees and be unbiased towards recognizing their performances and appraising them and the entire organization. So the intention of ethics and human resource development is to create and sustain an environment that encourages all individual and organization to reach their fullest potential in a positive and productive manner. So how can this ethics as per the human resource development function can be achieved or can be maintained in the organization? So there are some guidelines through which the human resource development intervention can act upon and hence have a ethical workforce at the organizational level. So respect the uniqueness and intrinsic worth of every employee. Treat employee with high dignity, respect, and compassion so that in order to foster a trusting work environment which is free of harassment, intimidation, and unlawful discrimination. It also focuses to ensure that employee has the opportunity to develop their skill and new competencies. Ethics can also be maintained at a high level when the organizational human resource management department assure the environment of inclusiveness and a commitment to the diversity in the organization where they serve. To develop and administer and advocate policies and procedures that foster fair, consistent, and equitable treatment for all is what ethical environment needs. Regardless of managers' personal interests, support decisions made by the organization that are both ethical and legal in nature. So the employees view it that the fairness they are being treated with fair and justice manner. So act in responsible manner and practice sound management in the country or countries in which organization they serve and operate. So being ethical is very important. So here we come to the conclusion of our entire course of human resource development, and today we have dealt with two units, which was first the human resource environment and business environment, and various challenges faced by the managers and trends in human resource development function. And then we have studied various trends and functions of human resource development, and how human resource development intervention can be made to ensure that these functions are done in a positive manner and are going to help organization in the long run. So we recognize that human resource have immense potential, and with the help of human resource development we can encourage this potential in order to achieve sustainable organizational growth and wealth maximization. So, in order to succeed in the market, to match up to the global level, every organization has to see that how human resource development is going to change the view that human resource is being treated in the organization. So, with this notion, we come to the conclusion of entire course, and from tomorrow we'll be studying another course, organizational design and structure. I hope you have understood the concepts in a very brief manner. And wrapping up with the today's session, I thank you all. Thank you so much. Have a good day.